Hey guys, it's Matt, and this is a Millionaire Architect podcast. I just got back from Dallas, and I was speaking in front of 300 plus people. One of the top questions I was hearing was, how do you build authority? How do you create authority? How do you manufacture authority? So I wanted to talk about that today. Now, there are two different ways to come at manufacturing authority. One is with integrity and one is without integrity. There isn't a single thing on this entire podcast or in anything that I ever do that's going to be the other route of manufacturing without some sort of integrity. Every single thing that I do is with integrity. So you can go ahead and assume every single thing that I go forward, anything that I talk about is doing and marketing with integrity. All right, fair enough? So we crossed off that side of the hustlers that are explaining how to do this, and they're doing it without integrity. Let me explain the integral side of building authority. The first thing that you need to do is you have to get up your experience. Now, back in 2008, I was pretty good at building websites and putting things online and ranking in search engines. I was pretty good at the things I could do. But I was no good at pitching myself. I was no good at sales. I wasn't any good at so many aspects of business, and I needed to level up in my experience. So I took a job at one of the top 100 visited websites up to that point, and I took a job in digital marketing where we had an ad budget to say, here's $100,000 to send to 2 different button colors to see which button color gets more clicks. Now I'm talking about experience there where you could spend $100,000 just figuring out which button gets clicked more. It's incredible, right? So I leveled up my experience to the next level. So then every single thing as I went forward after building that experience, I could sell myself with that experience bundled together. So you get my work ethic, you get my knowledge and experience of building websites, but not only that, but you get my knowledge and experience of A/B testing and spending millions of dollars in advertising. This experience is, next to none, and you can rent this experience from me and, get these services provided by my company. So boom, sales started coming in. I got hooked up with a guy that was down in Miami. He was a coach, and he said, hey, Matt, come down. I'll pay you a considerable amount of money. Come down here and help me grow my business. So I helped him launch his book, helped him build to over 1 million fans on his Facebook. And again, boom, leveled up, got amazing experience. Now you accompany the digital marketing of spending $1 million a month for about 6 years, and then you accompany that with now mastering coaching and mastering other parts of business. And then I had 10 or so other clients that grew up to about 7 figures in revenue in that time. Now I have some authority, right? So I built that authority from my experience. But listen, at this point in time, still no one knew who I was, right? I had generated tens of millions of dollars in revenue, but still no one knew who I was. I was just the guy, behind the scenes and so forth. So how did I then go and start manufacturing authority? So let's just take a step back because this isn't all about me. This is about you guys. So first, you have to go and build that authority. I don't care what it is that you're doing. Be the best at it. Figure out how to go and work for or intern for or get close to whatever it is and figure out how to get that experience to transfer from that success over to you. You have to do that first. And you, in being around these people and being around, these very successful business people, you start pulling that authority out of them, and you start pulling this experience out of them, and you start building that experience for yourself, and you start leveling up. So step 1, get around people that are doing amazing things. That's the first thing. So if you want to build software, go get around people that are building software. If you want to be a coach, go get around successful coaches. Whatever it is, go and offer to work for them for free. Go and offer your services. Do whatever you can to get that experience. Step 1, do that. Because once you have the experience, now you can go and start building authority with integrity where you're not just saying, hey, this is hypothetically what I could do for you, now give me money, or whatever that case might be on whatever it is that you're selling. So if I were to create a roofing company, I would go and work for a roofer. If I was trying to launch a digital advertising agency, I would go and work for a successful digital advertising agency and figure out exactly how they operate and how I can build my experience through that company. That's step 1. Step 2, pinpoint exactly what your business is going to be. Create a business plan that's like 5 years long. And granted, I'm talking about like 2013, 14, when I really started getting active with what I'm doing today. That was like 5 years ago. And I'm still working on the same business plan. I'm not pivoting every week. This is the same thing. This is what I planned 5 years ago. Build authority, get around people that are on that next level, and get up to the next level and keep leveling up by getting closer and closer and closer to those people who are above you. And that's what you have to do. And then they'll pull you up, and, you have a great work ethic, a great attitude, a great, personality, and, charisma, and all those things that are just like completely addictive that people want. You start building an audience and start going from there. So that's the point, building an audience. Where do you start with building the audience, right? So you have your business plan together. You have your audience of who you want to connect with. You have your future marketing strategy of what you want to sell, which you're not selling today, you're selling down the road. You build the audience, then you sell something. You don't try to build an audience and sell at the same time. That's where, somebody adds you on Facebook and then instantly they're trying to pitch you their MLM. That's the nonsense that I'm talking about there. But what you do, here's how you do it. And this is with integrity. And I'm going to reveal everything right now. I'm going to give it to you guys. So hold on tight. The first thing that I did was I went and started adding people on Facebook who I thought were inspiring. Those people that were close to the people that I wanted to work with, right? So if there was a person out there or a coach out there that had a bunch of staff, I would go and add all of their staff on Facebook. That's the first thing I started doing. Then I started trying to connect with them, engage with their pictures and posts and their motivation, commenting on their posts, commenting on their motivation, and engaging with that network. I infiltrated networks of successful business owners that were already established. Step one, I chose that audience. Step two, I went and added those people or staff on Facebook. Step three, I started adding value into that network. That's it. Guys, that's where this whole thing started. So I started building my network. I had this game plan. I only had 400 friends on Facebook, and that was just people I went to school with and family and friends, and that was it. So I said, I'm going to start adding people. So I added a couple of thousands of people that I thought were influential in the space that I was trying to infiltrate. That was step one. Step two, I wrote a book. So I wrote a book about my experiences. Again, those experiences that, 10 years of experience that I went and worked for other people. And I wrote a book about those experiences and about those successes. That was the next step. The next step after that was publishing the book, getting it online, and then starting to spend some money in advertising. And again, here's the reason why you need to have those experiences first. You make money when you're working for somebody. And when you're trying to build a business, you're spending money, right? So you have to have the money to spend to build the business. So I made a bunch of money working for other people and leveling up that experience. And I took that money and I saved it. And then I invested that money into my business. So I took the money from working for other people and I invested into my company. And I kept working for other people too. I could kind of do both and kind of take money from earning from other people, level up, experience all those great things, and then I could invest that into my business, and round we go. We keep going, right? So I take that money, I start investing into growing my page, growing my influence, and growing my audience, and growing my email list, and doing all the things that I learned from working for somebody. As you guys are noticing, if I didn't have that piece, I wouldn't have the success I have today. So you have to go and create that experience, and creating experience is expensive if it's on your own dollar. So go and work for somebody, use their money to build up your experiences, and then go over here. So it just boggles my mind when I have people reach out to me and they're like, Matt, I'm building a business. I have no money. Where do I start? Go and work for somebody. Matt, I want to buy your program, but I don't have $97. Go and work for somebody. If you can't afford $97 for my program, I don't want you to buy my program because you should not be building a business. What you should do, go and work for somebody, have them pay for my program, let me level you up in what I do. Let me teach you how to do what I do, get better at it, have somebody else pay for that and pay for your education. Now you have the experience. Now you can build a business down the road when you have more money, you have more experience, and you have all the pieces. So, question to me is, Matt, how do I build my authority? First, you have to build your experience. Step one, build the experience, make some money, put the money aside to build your business. Once you do that, then you can start building your authority even inside of that company. I mean, this is before Facebook even was what it is today. I mean, this was like when I started in my experience, like we were still kind of using MySpace, right? And so, things change, but you have to level up inside of that business where you can get paid to actually level up and learn, right? So, my answer to the question, how do you build authority? First, go work for somebody, get real close to them, and do great work. Come forward with the integrity, come forward with your energy, come forward with great work ethic and positivity, and just be this shining star inside that business. And I was thinking about it actually as we were talking at the event with a couple of people. They're asking me, hey Matt, where did you start? How'd you get this work ethic? And I was thinking back, I was even 13 years old and I had an incredible work ethic. I was 13, I was washing cars. 16, I was working 3 jobs, actually. It was more like 18 when I was working 3 jobs. 16, I was only working 1 job. I added on more jobs because come to find out in the state of Florida, there's child labor laws and you can only work 20 hours per job, but you could work 3 jobs for some reason. So I did that. So I had this amazing work ethic leading up to being 18 years old. Then I was waiting tables, busboy, and then got up to bartender by the time I was like 19, 20. So point is of the story, I was working hard for other people then. I was a really hard worker. I've always been a hard worker. So what I can say to you is that hard work and that determination is what pinpointed me to level up inside the company. Back in 2008, I was hired as a graphic designer, and then within 6 months, I was managing the entire graphic design company, creative director of the entire company, actually overseeing all the creative and all the marketing and all the code and all those things that had to do with our promotions, right? So I was doing all of that. And I was 4 years old, 25 years old, running this massive web company, this massive digital agency that was running a sweepstakes company. And it was just insane. It was insane, the amount of experience that I was able to pull off of that company. And what I talked to them about then, I talked to the CEO a lot. We sat in his office in a high rise in Midtown Manhattan, and he would slide me over a scotch, and he gave me the good taste for scotch, right? So he'd slide me over to scotch, and we would have a drink, and we'd sit there and talk about business and life and everything, right? And unfortunately, that mentor passed away while I was working for him, and he was really grooming me to take over his business and do some amazing things inside that company. We launched a new product. We actually created the first online scratch-off ticket, which was really cool. I helped create the technology for it and did some amazing things with that. And then he passed away and the company sold and so forth. And I stayed on for a little bit for the transition. And then I went and worked with coaches and went off and started doing this thing. But in talking with him, he was like, Matt, what's your next step, right? What's the next thing that you want to do? And I started talking to him about writing books. I started talking to him about launching a podcast and speaking on stages and, doing all these things and creating more software and creating, different tech. And what he said to me, like, he's sitting there and he looks at me and he's like, you're going to do every single thing that you said you're going to do. And I know it. And I want to be a part of it. And unfortunately, he couldn't be a part of any of those things I was able to do because he didn't take care of his health and didn't take care of himself. So, it's really unfortunate. And I probably wouldn't be here. I say this over and over, but probably wouldn't be here sitting here talking to you today on this podcast if it wasn't for, him and so forth. So I definitely say that, oh my goodness, like massive experience that I built through making multiple 6 figures working for this guy. And then this guy giving me this huge ad budget to go and learn and grow and experience and do these amazing things. And none of that would have happened if it wasn't for him and taking a chance on me. And it was, I talked about it in the first podcast, but those of you that are just tuning in, it was a graphic design position and I moved to New York City. without a job, without any money, just with the clothes on my back, not even a bed to sleep on. I was sleeping on a hardwood floor, and it was a graphic design interview for $30,000 a year, and I wouldn't have been able to survive off of $30,000 a year. I needed at least 45. So what I did was I went in and I said, I need 60 grand a year, and they're like, well, Matt, this job is for 30. That's all I have budgeted. And I went in and I sold myself, and I sold my abilities, and I sold the future of what I wanted to do. And they said, all right, we'll give you 60 plus benefits. And amazing story, right? And from there, I did exactly what I said I was going to do, and I fulfilled. And within 6 months, I was running the entire department, hiring and firing people the next year, and just growing that company and just growing everything about it. Built a new product, launched a new product within just 90 days, which was amazing. And was about to do some amazing things for that business. So I can tell you, first and foremost, you absolutely have to say, what is the opportunity? How can I go and build that experience? How can I roll that experience into building my authority? And then how can I go out and build an audience and pull this whole thing together? And that's absolutely what you have to do. You have to say, how can I build the experience? And then how can I go and find people who I want to connect with them, build out your page, talk to people, engage with them, don't sell them anything. And then later on, they will be buying from you, because you're just building a place of adding value into the world. And that's what it's all about. So first off, build the experience. That's end of story. If you want to build authenticity, build your experience. End of story. And then people say, oh, but how do I build experience without authority? No one will hire me. Well, you need to work on the attitude, don't you? Because I had a defeated attitude, and I had 2 job offers. One job offer was from the Detroit Red Wings, and the other job offer was from this company. So I had 2 opportunities. And I decided to go with this company in New York City over going and working for the Red Wings. I'm kind of glad I did, but I always kind of wondered what would have happened if I would have taken that job running social media for the Detroit Red Wings and Hungry Howie's Pizza or something like that. So what would life have been if I would have taken that job instead? But I don't regret it. I don't regret the path I went on. It was an amazing experience, and it got me to where I am today. So I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, how to build your authority? Build your experience. Go work for somebody that's already doing successfully what you want to do. And you're going to save a lot of time. You're going to save a lot of money. So that's it, guys. Be sure to check out the other episodes. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that 5-star on that and give a great review. And I am so happy that you decided to listen to the Millionaire Architect podcast. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you on the next one.
You are listening to the Millionaire Architect Podcast with Matt Ganzak, brought to you by MyCredits. MyCredits. Reward your loyal customers for watching your videos and engaging with your business. Your customers will love you for it.